Basketball is my life. I have nothing else.
This is incredible. This is the best capable I've ever heard.
Shooters. That's what we do.
Shooters, a basketball podcast. Let's go.
Welcome, episode 10, Shooters Pod. Darren and Jack, we're ready to rock and roll after an exciting interview last week. Now we know each other a little bit better. This episode is going to be our best for sure.
We did. It was a good episode, and given that it's episode 10, we've both upgraded equipment. I've just brought out the microphone. I figure, it's time to be a proper podcaster. Bring out the microphone. You've got the Rode clip there as well. Look at us go from episode 1.
The best part about this is we actually didn't even communicate this either.
That's true.
It just happened.
Just rocked up.
I know. And so now we're looking legit, we're looking professional, and hopefully you guys' ears are rewarded.
Yeah, give us a compliment about our voices if we're sounding fantastic. But how's your week been? What have you, we've got a run sheet here, but I'm just going to ask you, how you been? What have you been doing?
My week's been good. Went to Brisbane, saw the fam, saw dad, sister, mum couldn't make it. Her back was a little playing up. That's all right, though. That's life. Went out to dinner with the sister, which was awesome, straight after a big win, of course, which makes that night a night to remember. Still battling this sickness. Can't get rid of it. It's not COVID, but went to the doctor today and getting some bloods done. So hopefully we can get some results back of that. But we still managed to get a win while almost dying on the court from fatigue. But that's the life of an athlete. What about yourself?
Before I get to me, so you're actually still affected by whatever you've got out there? Like it was actually,
yes. Yeah, can't get rid of it. Struggling to breathe a little bit, lightheaded, kind of sore throat.
Damn.
But we battle on, and we just keep getting better.
I swear all of us have just gotten weaker over the last year, like few years with all the COVID stuff. Like if you get something, it's just like lingers for I don't know how long, and you can't shake it, so it's a pain in the ass. But hopefully you're back
100%.
to normal soon. My week was good.
Yep.
My weekend, quite a busy weekend. So I was in Canberra to do that Indigenous round launch, and then I went back to Canberra the following 2 nights after that, Friends 30th.
Epic.
So yeah, had a few days up there, and came back on the Sunday morning and had a wedding that night, which was a bit different.
Wow.
Sunday night wedding. Have you ever been to? Has anyone ever had a wedding on a Sunday night for you?
Wow, no, I haven't been. Were you going as a guest or as a photographer?
I guess this time, which I've got to tell you, was much more enjoyable. Much more
Nice.
enjoyable.
So was it it was a beautiful night?
It was good. It was good. It was a bit different, as I said, on a Sunday night, but the couple's great. Like it was my partner's friends, but I've met them a few times, so yeah, glad they invited me. But it was good. It was very lovely. It was nice.
Nice. That's what I like to hear. So, did you manage to make it to the Melbourne versus Melbourne game? About Melbourne?
No, sir. Nah, I was in Canberra, so I did come home in time to watch the last quarter. So you can't escape me fully. I did watch the last quarter, which was good. I think it was a close finish. Did you catch it?
Yeah. Ended up watching it. Been trying to watch every single game. Just part of the craft and obviously entertainment value. But Southeast got it done again.
They did. Do you actually watch every single game?
Well, this season definitely more than most, and I wouldn't say every, but it's getting pretty close.
Damn, dedication. I like that.
Dedication to the craft. So my man's, it's just a wedding everywhere.
Connoisseur?
Every weekend, it's like you're either shooting at one or are you proposing anytime soon? No.
Damn, you jumped to that quickly. No, I played at my own pace. But as I said, it was much more enjoyable not being on videographer duties. Just being able to sit there, do my thing. After 2 weddings being done, I might just retire from doing video. Like it's too stressful. It's too much editing. Still going through all the edits. So no, maybe I'll stick to sports.
Wow, there you go, huh? So you could be a 2-time wedding photographer and then retired.
That's fine. You got to try these things. You got to try these things at times.
This is what we learned from the interview last week. You got to dive headfirst into things. Who knows? In a year or two, you could have been a wedding photographer, but now we know that that's probably not going to be the case.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, what did you see from the weekend? We've got a few topics here. I'm going to jump into one you wrote down. So you mentioned your win. Obviously, a very nice win up in Brisbane. I've got to be honest, when you wrote down final shot controversy, I actually didn't know what you were talking about. So while we were preparing here, I went back and looked at the vision, but explain to the viewers what happened there.
Yeah, so your boy Jack McVeigh got in a little bit of controversy at the end of the game. So in the NBA, there's this, when the game's 100% over, there's the shot clock, which obviously is 24 seconds. And if it's under that, they kind of just dribble the ball out. There's no point playing the last, say, 20 seconds because the game's already done. So we got to stop with about 10 seconds to go. They kick it head to me. My team, we get a stop on the defensive end. We kick it head to me. We're up by like 10 or something at this point. I take a dribble and shoot a 3, and it goes in. And so then there's a little bit of hargy-bargy under the ring between teams. And then Johnson comes up to me and he goes, "Why'd you shoot it, man? Like, why'd you shoot it?" And I look at him calmly. I go, "In the NBL, when it comes down to draws at the end, points for and against matter. So depending on how many points you've scored and then how many points are being scored against you, if you're drawn, the team with the better margin will go through to the playoffs." So for example, last year, the Jack Jumpers were left in a situation where we were tied with Perth up until the very last game where they played Southeast. And they had better points than plus. So if they won that game and they ended up drawing with us, we would have not been in because they lost. So I said that to him, and he looked me dead in the eye and said, "Wow, I didn't know that. My bad." And so we dapped it up and we said, "It's all good. It was nothing personal." Obviously some people weren't happy with it. Some people on the opposition coaching staff didn't love it, but you have to live with trying to get buckets at all time. And as we said as a group, every single step focused towards making that playoffs and trying to win this whole thing.
Yeah, I really like that because that was gonna be my next question, because when I was looking at the vision, I was like, I wonder what was actually said during those moments where Tyler Johnson just came up to you and said something, because clearly initially he was a bit annoyed by it, and coming from the NBA, like, it's such a thing over there. Like if you're beating a team by, I don't know, let's just say double digits, and you shoot the ball or you go to score, it's kind of just like a respect thing maybe. But yeah, in this league, percentage obviously plays a big part, and it's cool that you actually just explained to him calmly, and he was just like, all right, fair enough then. Good make.
Yeah, yep. And then we dapped it up and we walked off the court happy as friends and competitors. So sometimes, there's no point getting in an argument. He didn't know the situation. I explained it and we're all good to go.
All's well that ends well. I like that insight.
Yes. Well, talking of not ending well, but something that's been going for a long time was Chris Goulding's 1,000th three-pointer. And obviously I was a huge fan of it because of the one leg.
Yes. I laughed that it had to go down like that. Like you could, as a player, do you know what those type of milestones are about to happen? Like, are you aware of them? I'm sure the bigger ones you might be, maybe the smaller ones not so much. Do you reckon Chris knew?
That's a great question.
I feel like
yes.
Yeah.
I think he knew.
Yeah, I feel like he might have, because watching the game at the start, like, I know he gets in these modes anyway, but you could tell he kind of wanted to jack him up, and he kind of it felt like he wanted to get there, and he got there pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, he did, and I tell you what, by an impressive shot, we'll put it on our social media. It was a shot fake, step through, three-pointer, a tough shot off the one leg, fading away, but, that's what Chris Goulding does. He makes tough shots, and that's why he's been such a prolific scorer in the NBL for the Boomers for such a long time, is because he has this uncanny ability to make tough shots, and I think he's got a swagger about him, and he definitely knew that was his 1,000th three-pointer.
It was kind of like the perfect way to get that 1,000th three, just for the type of player he is. But it was a cool milestone, and I was going to include this in the Rate or Hate segment later, but the commentators were big on saying that they think that might not ever happen again, that no player would ever reach 1,000 threes again, just because the 48-minute era and whatnot. A lot of the older guys reached that milestone. But what do you reckon? Do you reckon someone else will come in and get that milestone? Because I've got to admit, when they were talking about it, like, it may not happen again, it did catch me off guard, and I was kind of just like, oh, is it that, like, I don't know, it didn't really register with me, like, how maybe hard it was to get to that. How many career threes are you on, Jack? Just putting it out there. Come on. Off the top of your head.
I wouldn't be on a lot.
Yeah.
I would be on maybe 150.
Yeah.
That's a full guesstimate. Could be 100 away. But it's a great question. It's tough because if you're good enough to play in this league at a young age, you're probably going to be in the NBA. Like, to really play and have good minutes and have impact minutes. Like, you look at most guys that we look at young breaking into the league, they're 23, 24 years old. and so with that comes obviously a less age. You haven't got these guys like Chris Goulding and Gazy that started playing in the league when they were 18 anymore. There's no one really like that. So in terms of the length of career, it's probably going to be a little shorter, and then the 48 minutes. But I'll never put it past a record being broken, because there's always going to be someone that comes along and does something incredible, like LeBron James maybe getting the all-time leading points. Right, there's always going to be a next. So I think it will be, but it might take a long time.
Yeah, it's a different era, but like you said, you never know what's going to happen in the future. But staying in Melbourne, I did like one thing that caught my eye between that Southeast Melbourne versus Melbourne clash at the end, how Alan Williams was kind of just like running around the crowd, the stadium, and I'm pretty sure, like, I wasn't in the stadium, I just saw it on broadcast, but it did look like he was just like sort of saying, "This is my city," and I like those moments, and it's especially interesting coming from like an import who, like, he would be aware of that it's kind of like a brewing rivalry and still like a fairly new rivalry, but do you like those sort of things that happen?
Yeah, well, first off, it's the beauty of sport is when that adrenaline gets going, the voices get chirping, you've won a game, and you can kind of let out that sigh of relief, which comes out of talking a little bit of trash, and he's put on a show. He's got world-class touch, plays hard, strong, a bit real strong, and he's going out there, and Southeast is playing some good basketball. From the fan perspective, do you live for those moments? Do you love it? Do you love seeing the passion?
Yeah, for sure. And that's being a photographer and a bit like when I'm doing photo and video, definitely. Those moments, you just like, if you get them, you're happy with yourself. If you miss them, you're kicking yourself a bit. But yeah, they're definitely the ones you just like, oh yeah, the emotion shots, the kind of shots that tell a story for sure. And that's definitely one of them. If he's saying, "This is my city," you want to capture that. And then, yeah, I love it. Like, I think it's good. And I was interested to see what the season sort of record between those two are. I think they've played like 3 times. So if you're saying that, maybe Southeast Melbourne have got the points over them so far, but I have to go back and check.
Exactly. I think they are 3-0 too, but I could be wrong. Speaking of that flair and that excitement that obviously certain characters bring, have you, at this point in the season now, got someone you enjoy shooting most? Obviously, you're a little biased in terms of you get to shoot the Melbourne guys more, but has there been anyone in particular that stood out that you're like, wow, I enjoy putting my camera on them, or just someone in Melbourne that you really enjoy capturing with their flair?
Yeah, I think it's a good question because, yeah, obviously being in Melbourne, obviously shoot Melbourne much more. But if I was had to choose, I think it would definitely be like those emotive guys, like those guys that are kind of like, they show something, they after a big play, they'll do something with their hands, or they'll give us some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like just stare towards the camera or some sort of face, screw up their face in some weird way. Yeah, definitely emotive guys. And then the bigger name players as well. Like, you obviously love to catch those moments. Like, I don't know, Bryce Cotton comes to town, do what he does, capture him. And it's always a nice feeling when the player either likes a photo or just like asks for the photo to post as well. Yeah, I could say those emotive guys. I thought you were going to go with when you're going to say, I know you're biased. I thought you were going to say, I know you're biased, and obviously I'm great to photograph, but I haven't posted that many of you, I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. We need more we need more collabs, but that's all right. We'll get there. We got many of years to get those photos.
We do. Next one, Corey Webster. What did you make of? Yeah. So the situation that your face tells the tale right there. So I don't know how to quickly explain it, but pretty much Corey Webster obviously played for the Breakers a while ago. Don't know if you call him a legend over there, but yeah, he's definitely one of their best players they've had. And yeah, he now plays for Perth. Perth versus New Zealand were playing on the weekend. Breakers put up a little cheeky social media post that was basically just like disrespecting him. I don't know how else to put it. Yeah, I think in the end they kind of realized they made a mistake by putting that thing up, and I think they apologized. I think there was some comments around it, but it's one of those things where sometimes you just like, okay, social media, like, people love a bit of cheekiness, but if you cross those boundaries, people are like, maybe you shouldn't have done that, and I think that's what happened there.
Yeah, you bring up a couple great points there. First off, definitely a legend.
Yeah,
definitely a legend. He won. He's their 3rd time All Scorer for the club. I think it's around that. He's won a couple championships with them. Obviously, New Zealand boy too. So born and raised. So all those factors, I think, go into a little bit of the trash talking. And then, like, you're right, there's a line with social media for sure where it's the right amount of chirp, that you keep it going, you keep it funny. But then when that line's crossed, a lot of people get mad. And so for someone like me, obviously looking in from the outside, there's always something special about a player winning a championship with the club. Because it doesn't matter where they go afterwards, like they achieved the ultimate with that team. And so forever there should be a little bit of a mutual respect there in terms of like this guy laid it all out to bring home that cup. And like that's the end goal. Like you hired him to do a job and he did that job. He accomplished it to the best of his ability. Obviously he's a legend. But then, like you always say, man, basketball has a way of telling these stories. And then he comes out and has his best game of the season, 26 points, pulls him over the edge and gets a very, very tough place to win in New Zealand right now. Gets Perth a much-needed win, and it's an awesome basketball story.
Actually, that's a very good point. I kind of just brushed over the fact that I think he started in that one as well for some reason, unless someone was injured or maybe they just played up for the storyline. They're like, nah, screw this. I reckon he's going to be in for a big one. So started, as you said, scored 26, got the win. And he probably felt very good after it, like like a who's laughing now type of situation for him. So
for sure, he handled the post game perfectly. One of the NBL's real key rivalries too, Perth versus New Zealand. For periods there, they were battling 6, 7, 8 years in a row in the grand final, making crazy flight travel and just another one of those cool little stories of sometimes you got to be careful talking a little bit of trash before the game. And from this time, the media team, watch out, Darren, don't be talking too much trash before these games, huh?
Don't worry. I've never done anything like that. But it is a funny conversation because like these days, if you do have something clever on social media and then you get that engagement, like, it feels good. Like people kind of like that, but you just have to be respectful. I think that's the lesson at the end of the day. Like, and even some of the Breakers players, I think, jumped into the comments of the original post, just kind of saying like, hey guys, like this isn't it. Let's do a bit better. So few from actually one of my favorite things that happened during the week was someone linked me. I think you sat down with some Adelaide newspaper or something, and they shouted us out. They shouted the Shooters podcast out. So, those little things that they do bring a smile to your face. Getting some recognition. It was cool to read.
No, 100%. Shooters podcast is doing big things. Episode 10. And here we are. And every single person that tunes in is a part of that journey. Especially if you've been listening through since episode 1. Far out. Can't complain, huh? Appreciate you guys for listening.
Yeah, for sure. A few little Illawarra ones as well. Sam Froling doing his thing last night. I think it was last night. Yeah, you love to see when those players sort of... put their aggressive hat on and hit like 20 points or something at the half or something, I believe. So cool to see.
Yeah, 22 points at half, new career high. He's a guy that he's going to be a menace in this league for as currently playing on that Boomers really well. Wouldn't be surprised if he was in that World Cup tryouts. And he's doing his thing and playing well, and it's good to see him get a win for that club.
Yeah, for sure. All right, there was... Let me just say, so last week you interviewed me. I just wanted to throw some random questions at you, not specifically about you. Although, did you want to quickly touch on I can't remember who asked it in our DMs the last week. They just asked a little bit about how you got into basketball. I don't know if you wanted to dive into that quickly or not.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick little spill. We'll keep it short because my story's pretty much out there. But basketball family, my mum played, older brother played. 2 people I looked up to, obviously. The dad was in the backyard, built a half court. We were shooting hoops every time we would get home from school, free throw competitions. And then so I started playing pretty young, like 5, 6. I was picking up a ball and was hooped, obviously. You look up your role models, your older brother, your mom and your dad, and they're hanging around basketball. And then it just kind of flowed from there. I started playing under 12s rep or club, depending on what you guys call it. And kind of just kept going down that path of being that junior that was pretty good, had my ups and downs of learning how to navigate it, made some state teams, went to the Australian Institute of Sport for 3 years, which is in Canberra, went to college for 3 years in the middle of Nebraska, and then ended up with Joey Wright in Adelaide for 3 years, and then now in Tasmania. And that's kind of the brief overall. But basketball was in the blood, and I had some great influences from the footworks to the older brother beating me up when I was younger that has helped me make the basketball player in the NBL.
Nice. The rest is history. Now, I've got some quick fire questions here. Now, you've seen them, so I'm going to expect you to just have some quick answers.
Yeah.
So firstly, I don't know if you do, but I'm gonna make you do it. Funniest player in the league, or just name a few that are just they just get it.
Yeah. Jared Weeks is hilarious.
Really? Okay.
Yep, hilarious. He's one of those dad hilarious types. Anthony Drimmick, I always got to give a shout out to him. I find him hilarious. Michael Harris, development player for... I'll give him a shout out. Michael Harris, development player for Perth, who's been playing recently, a couple of last games, hit some threes, bringing the energy. He has some really good jokes, and he always stays on top of it.
What about the opposite? I didn't write this one down, but what about the opposite side of things? Who's like one of the most serious sort of players that you just want to see laugh out there? Is there anyone that comes to mind? Super serious, all business. Yeah, on the court. Just all business.
All business. I would say, I'll give you a Jackie's to keep the conversation rolling, and then I'll think while I'm thinking of someone else. I would have to say Milton Doyle's always just serious, cool, calm, collected. He doesn't laugh. He doesn't get angry. He just stays as smooth as water. And then on other teams, who's somewhat serious.
I should name players that come to mind that look serious from the exterior, but
yeah, give me someone you think is serious.
Maybe like a Daniel Johnson. Is he serious, or is that just?
Yeah, he is pretty serious.
Yeah.
I've built a relationship with him, so we have some back and forth conversation,
okay.
Which changes things. I would say someone that looks serious from the out.
Ooh,
I'm not sure. We'll have to revisit that one. That's a good question.
On it. You went back on it.
Yeah.
Give me an underrated guy in the league that not many people are talking about, or you're gonna say Nick Marshall, aren't you?
No.
Okay.
I love Nick. He's getting his love, though. He's getting his love.
Yeah, true.
I think a guy that is a bucket, that does a great job, is Majuk Dane.
Oh, yep.
A lot of talk, obviously, about the Cairns and what they're doing, and he's a story where he's happily taking that back seat. I mean, it's never happily done, but he's taking that back seat. He comes on, he gets buckets, he does his thing, he brings that energy, long, wiry, and I think we can't forget how good of a basketball player and the career he's putting together just because Keanu's doing unbelievable things.
That's a good shout out. Yeah, because he has kind of taken a bit of a backseat role, like probably reduced minutes. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I assume he has some sort of reduced minutes. But yeah, putting together a nice resume for himself. Closest friends in the league, besides from Drimmick, I know you're close with him. Who are some other guys you're tight with?
Well, it's been really cool doing the Boomers stuff because you make friends in that. And Nordo on this trip recently to Kazakhstan, me and him became really close. So I'll give mad shout out to Mitch Norton and what he does as a dude, and obviously an incredible basketball player. But getting to know him was really fun, and he laughs at my jokes, so I'll take that.
He makes you feel good. Hey, quickly on Mitch Norton, I have this thing with Liam Santamaria. If anyone knows what Liam Santamaria looks like, just bring up a photo of him and then put it up next to Mitch Norton, and I swear they look the same. They're just an ongoing joke I have that I always tell him. But anyway, moving right along.
I like it.
Best shooter or top shooter that, remove some of the biggest names, but best shooter.
Yeah, someone that doesn't get love for their shooting ability, because obviously you got the big hitters. You got Bryce Cotton, you got Chris Goulding.
Yeah.
A really good shooter that. Let's go. I got to give my boy. He's a great shooter, but DJ Vasiljevic.
Oh, yeah.
Right now he hasn't built the resume that some of those older dudes does, but he's going to have an exciting, when you look back on his career, you'll be like, he got a lot of buckets at all levels.
Yeah, he has potential, I'm sure he'll get his NBA opportunities in Summer League and all that, but here's the opportunity that if he sticks around in the NBL for years and years and years, he's going to be one of those names, I could see it like the Chris Goldings and all that just sort of almost face of the league sort of standard, like top Aussie talent. So I reckon he has a chance to become someone like that.
100%.
Most athletic.
Oh, we had this conversation as a team.
Did you?
The other day. It's got to be Cleveland. Because Antonius Cleveland for Adelaide 36ers. But because we were talking about him versus Keanu Pinder, the way Keanu Pinder moves. But Antonius Cleveland, he does a warm-up sometimes right before the game starts. So when jump ball's about to happen, where he goes up and touches his backboard on the head before the game starts. And so not many guys can do that. So he gets a shout-out and mad love for that.
I can't do that, so credit to him.
Either can I. Though.
Hey, you can get up. You proved that last week. Quickest. Sneaky quickness. It's a bit of a weird one to answer. But...
Yeah, sneaky quickness. I think Jason Kadee.
Okay, I like that.
No one would ever say Jason Kadee's quick, but he's quick.
He's quick.
Like, obviously, he could shoot the 3 ball, but his ability to quickly explode out, get down here, and draw contact is an elite. What makes him an elite guard? That's the thing that people don't talk about that makes him really good at what he does.
For sure. Last one. Best trash talker.
Best trash talker.
These are always interesting to find. Sean Bruce, yeah, but he was. There was some poll going around that he was like voted the best trash talker. So I need another name. I need someone that.
Okay, another name. Someone else that talks a little bit.
So I just need the inside scoop.
I think he doesn't really talk crazy trash, but like Chris Goulding can be a little bit of a smart ass out there.
Yeah,
you know, he can give you a little tap on the hip. He gave me a tap on the hip the other day when he hit a tough step back on me. He gave me a little smile. He might give someone a little wink here and there, just a little enough to get under your skin, but to let you know that he just made a tough shot.
Yeah, there's different types of trash talk. Is Barry Brown one of those guys? He likes to talk in a kind of entertaining way.
That whole New Zealand team be talking. I forgot about them for a second. They definitely be talking a little bit of trash and having some fun out there. So yeah, they get a good name. That's a good call by you.
Because I feel like some guys come across a broadcast as trash talkers, and then you can kind of identify it. But then other guys, you're like, you probably don't realize what they say. The sneaky ones. Yeah. That's all I got for you. Did you like those questions?
There you go. That's some good basketball questions. Get to know the league a little bit better.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Those are the things that I'm always interested in myself. So just wanted to throw it out there. Rate or hate?
Great question. I hate it, man. I hate it.
Right.
That's not what this segment is called.
All right, I've got one for you. This relates to my wedding experience. Dancing. For yourself. You're a bit of a dancer. Do you rate or hate that?
I rate dancing.
Yeah?
I rate dancing very highly. Might be like top 5 favorite things to do.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
There you go. What about yourself?
Hate it. Well, okay, it's for me, I hate it. I'm just not that type of guy, and I find it very awkward, but I know it brings a lot of joy to others, so to sit on the fence as well. I'll rate it for other people, but it's hate. It's a strong hate for me. I just don't do it.
No, that's cool. So you've never gotten your boogie out on the dance floor?
Nah, I kind of just gave it up. I think when I was younger, I was just like, when people were doing it, I was like, you know what, maybe I should, like, maybe it's just me being introverted or whatever, and then just gave it up. I don't know, just not comfortable, and I just accepted. I'm happy to sit there and watch others do their thing.
Yeah, nice. Fair enough. Well, I hope one day we can get our little boogie on together somewhere.
No, I'll be sitting in the corner.
I won't pressure you too crazy.
That's right. All right, what have you got for me? You got one?
Okay, I got one, and this is going to be a statement.
Yes. Yeah, we thought we'd do something rate or hates. They don't have to just be like a little this or that. They can be some sort of takes of some description, and then, if the other one agrees, cool. If they don't, well, mini debate on our hands.
There you go. This will be, this is the most talented NBL pool in the last 5 to 10 years.
Oh, jeez. Oh, this is tough though. Like, I'm just gonna say hate. Just hate, just because I don't have the evidence to back it up, and I don't. Yeah. What do you think?
No, this is my question to you.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. It's a good topic. But it's almost like every year we're kind of just like, hey, this league is looking good. Like the quality of imports are looking good and stuff, and the Aussie talent. But I don't have an answer for you, but it's a good topic for conversation. even though it sparked no conversation here.
There you go. We'll have to continue that. We'll have to get some research in.
That's it. I've got one for you. Speaking of basketball and statements, you either have that killer instinct on the court or you don't. Like, you can't learn it. It's not something you can grow. Like, players are either born with it or not. Do you agree with that?
It's a great question. I've had to go and ponder into my thoughts before I throw out such a strong statement. I believe anyone can learn any skill, but there is this little special, like, something that some people have where they really want to take that last shot and they really want that game winner and they really believe in themselves and can you teach that? Like, yes, but it might take so long that in the span of a basketball career, it can't happen.
Yeah. I was gonna say I kind of have my own views on it. Like, I think to an extent it's definitely true. Like, I feel like you either got it or you can't or you don't. But at the same time, you can kind of like. I feel like as you get older, especially, you can definitely grow into sort of getting more confidence and being more aggressive and essentially being a bit more engaged for every single game. I reckon that comes with part of maturing in an odd way, but it's an interesting one though.
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, I'm going to mix it up completely because I actually saw a financial advisor today for the very first time.
Boom.
Yeah, there you go, and I learned a thing or two. So I'm just going to hit you with like what's been kind of like a recent like popular talk, but like crypto.
Whatever happened to like NFTs? I was just gonna say, like, do you remember when, I don't know how big on like Twitter and stuff you go on, or like there used to be a thing where those like weird monkey photos and stuff used to be all populated over Twitter.
Yep.
People were talking about NFTs. There was so much artwork, and now it's just kind of like crickets. Like, there's really not that much. Well, maybe I just don't follow the right people, but there's really not that much compared to what used to be.
NFTs definitely felt and smelt like a fad for sure.
Yes, true. Because I was tempted to like, because I like my art, I like some like drawing digitally. I was tempted to like properly get into it because people are always just like, this is going to be the smart decision. Like, you can earn money off it, you can get your work seen, and now it's gone. It feels like it's gone.
Definitely. Well, I think there'll always be a little place for it. I don't know. I don't see it at all anymore, but say you want to buy like an exclusive piece of Darren's artwork and you're only putting 10 of them out digitally, you could still sell them. They mightn't sell for $10,000, but they will sell. Yeah.
It's just a whole different world essentially. And people started doing like their photography as well. So, which also caught my attention. But again, I was just like, I don't really understand this world.
Yeah, for sure. Well, crypto,
rate or hate?
Yeah.
Hate. Never got into it. Never really understood it.
Nice.
What about you?
I rate it. Different kind of system in terms of money, but I don't know enough about it. My boy Matthew Dellavedova is big on the crypto.
Yes.
So if you have any questions, he's the guy to reach out to. Yeah, and we'll see where we take us. I don't own any though, so I don't rate it that much yet.
I've got a quick, so my last one has already been covered. I was going to make the statement that nobody will ever hit the 1003s again. But I was going to, just the topic for conversation. Do you think, like the whole topic, I don't know how to ask this, but the whole topic of someone changing their jump shot to better their form, like, have you ever like tinkered with your jump shot at all? Like, yours is a pretty nice look, but it just saying Matthew Dellavedova reminded me of some videos people have been putting up saying he has a funky release and all that, but... What are your thoughts on just like, basically giving your jump shot an overhaul if you really need to?
Well, this is a question that I don't want to answer with the amount of time we have.
Yes.
Because I study this. I've worked kids out, obviously myself, and I think a short answer, if anyone was listening, that's a basketball parent or wanting advice, could take something I wouldn't exactly want from it. But I would say it's very individualized. The earlier you can make a jump shot sound that you don't have to change it is always going to have better results. And then secondly, if you're going to change it, you have to put up thousands and thousands and thousands of close repetitions. So like we're talking not outside the key. So if you're over the age of 15, 16 and you want to change a jump shot, I don't want to see you outside a key for months until that follow through is so sound that you don't have to think about it once you get the legs involving. That'll be my short form answer. It's possible, but there's not many positive cases past the age of 18, 19.
Yeah, no, I like that. You want a measured answer to that rather than rushing through it, because like you've seen cases of it that have kind of like worked. Like I think Daly, I think he's like people say he's shooting better now, and Lonzo Ball, a personal favorite of mine, like his shooting form was whack, and then it's been well publicized how good their New Orleans Pelicans staff have kind of like reworked his jump shot, and he's a very good shooter now, so it can work, but it's a weird one.
100%. Yeah. They're also surrounded by world-class coaches.
Yes, which is
who
very
spend
true.
every day working on their jump shot, and that matters. But it is possible, as two good examples you just gave.
You have to do it correctly. And did you see? Do you know Mason Plumlee? I don't know if you know him, but he used to shoot right-handed. Now he shoots left-handed. So talk about one extreme to the next.
There you go, huh?
Boom. All right, let's close this out. Grateful.
Wow, this is a negative space. I'm just going to start chucking up random things I'm grateful for.
This is incredible. This is the best grateful for I've ever heard.
Grateful.
What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful this week for doctors. You know, they be grinding, they be working a lot of years educating to look after the people, giving us knowledge that we might need. And so considering I've been to one today, and they helped me out. Grateful for doctors. What about yourself?
And peace of mind as well. Mine's also health related. Grateful for walks. Just going for walks. I walk to work, and then it's funny enough, well, sillily enough, I used to just walk along the main roads, but I found this lovely park to stroll through every morning now. It's much more enjoyable, just getting that fresh air, chuck on Shooters podcast, chuck on some music, and it's one of those moments where you're forced not to look at a device, which is very bloody good these days.
Yep, it's perfect.
Boom. That's all I got for you.
Well, guys, we'll be back next week. Shoot some questions of what you guys want us to talk about. We love hearing feedback. All we want to do is improve this for you guys and for us. And always, thanks for tuning in. Darren's now got his signature. Goodbye. Hit us.
I did not have one, but see you later. Bye.